some kind of way to advance, and you need the ability for characters to die. It's sad, but if no one ever dies, then it really doesn't like have as much impact. Okay, so have you ever heard of a show called Heroes? You get my point? Okay. If no characters die, it's boring because will never be real danger. Right. Exactly. So Heroes is a story about a bunch of people who gain superpowers. You know, one could fly, one could tell the future, one was really strong, one could time travel, so on and so forth. You've seen Heroes, Dursteiner. Okay. Well, in the first, and tell me if you agree, Dursteiner. First season, like, there was a painter who could paint the future. Like, he was a drug addict, and he would paint, and like, he would paint like scenes from future episodes. Oh boy, it happens. So what they did was, in the first season, he did some stuff, he set some things in motion, and then he died. He was killed off. And it was like, you felt it. You were like, holy shit. Or at least I did. Holy shit. There's now a superhero like series that respects death. And no, they don't, it wasn't a fake death and he was back next episode. He died. Like, died, and he didn't come back. And that was amazing. I was instantly a fan. And it was great. It was like, I was a super fan of the show. Like, I don't buy DVDs very often. I bought a DVD of season 1. Like, a DVD set for season 1, because I was such a fan. Very nice. And I was like, okay, all right, this is gonna be good. Season 2, they brought someone back from the dead. It is a vicious death romance. And it was such a good death too. It was a cop who can read minds. And he was standing there, right? And he had like a serial killer in his mind, like the main villain in his head. And so, like, he was sitting down with it in a restaurant, like talking mentally with this person. And he wrote down on a napkin and didn't look at it, so he couldn't tell. He wrote down on a napkin, "I have a bomb." Created. Thank you for the clone, Claire. And so what happened was, like, he gave it to the waitress. And the waitress called the police, and the police surrounded the place. And what he did was he went out to the parking lot with all the cops there. And the cops had him drawn down. It was like, you know, put your hands up and so on. And the serial killer, who was named Skylar, the serial killer said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, if they take, I'm getting rid of you. I'm destroying you. And the serial killer was like, if the cops kill you, they'll kill me, but you'll also be dead. Victory. And he said, "At least I go out a hero. At least I go out a hero." And he put his hand into his pocket and pulled out a finger gun. Cops gunned him down. And I was like, motherfucking yes. Matt Parkman died a hero. And I was so hyped because I was like, that is a wonderful death. You know, yeah, the villain had to escape. The villain had some way to escape. You know, there had to be, because it was the middle of the season. This was the main hero or main villain. He's gonna escape. I get that. The villain doesn't die until the end of the season, I figured. Next episode, Matt Partman laying there in a hospital bed. And I just stopped watching. I denounced Heroes after that. And I was like, that's it. I'm done. Never. I will. No.